afternoon, everyone. How are all of you doing today? Now, today is a remarkable day because we are going to be talking about something very exciting. Welcome to our talk show, TikTok, UNIRAZAK. And may I remind everyone to please tune into social media, my UNIRAZAK Facebook and Instagram. So we are back with the season of What's Hot at UNIRAZAK. And I'm especially happy today because we have just hit 1,000 subscribers. So we are glad and we want to thank everybody who has been subscribing, who has been tuning in and watching all our events that we have been having for the past 1 to 2 years. Now, we have gathered here an exciting lineup of speakers today to talk about the past, present, and future of your taxation career. So today we bring you to the School of Accounting and Taxation, short known as SAT. And let me give you a little bit about SAT and what the faculty overview is. Now, the demand of experts in accounting and taxation is at an all-time high in this age of globalization. While there is an accurate shortage of accountants in Malaysia, UNIRAZAK School of Accounting and Taxation strives to cater to the national demand by offering programs of taxation and accounting with professional accreditation. SAT provides the best platform with its experienced and highly qualified academicians to equip students with the necessary job skills to become business leaders in their chosen fields, whether in professional accounting or tax consulting. Now, our topic today, we will be discussing the past, the present, and the future of your taxation career. We will share with you on how to identify a great career opportunity that is just right for you when you are studying taxation programs. So stay tuned until the end of our, and our academic expert, our industry expert, as well as students will share with you in our 1-hour program today. But first, let's have a look at our corporate video. have it, that is UNIRAZAK. And for those of you who don't know, UNIRAZAK is situated right at the heart of Kuala Lumpur, a merely 5 to 10 minutes walking distance from KLCC. So with us, we have an amazing lineup of speakers here today. Let me just allow all of you to say hi to them. So I'm going to start with Mr. Amaruddin Ahmad. He's right there on the bottom right, Program Director
Hello.
of Bachelor's in
Hi.
Taxation. Okay,
Hi.
and I'm going to introduce the student next, who is Miss Deborah Nasam Periasamy. She is a student Bachelor in Taxation with honors. Okay, and then we also have Mr. Suraj, alumnus, Bachelor in Taxation. Okay, please sign that. And finally, our special guest for today, an industry expert as tax advisory, we have Mr. Muhammad Faisal, right over there on the bottom left. Okay,
Hi.
hi, Mr. Faisal, how are you?
Good. I'm good. Good. Ready to
Okay,
give a lot of information.
awesome. Okay, so listen to that, guys. You guys are in up for information today, and but I told all the speakers before coming on board, today is going to be a chill session. So if you have any questions, comments, anything, please feel free to leave your remarks on the chat box. And even though if it's in bahasa Malaysia, tak apa, kamu juga boleh tujukan soalan anda di chat box di laman kotak kami ya. Okay, I'm going to now officially introduce them. We'll start with Mr. Amaruddin Ahmad. He is the Program Director, Bachelor in Taxation Honours, School of Accounting and Taxation at UNIRAZAK. Now, his starting career is in the Taxation Department of PricewaterhouseCoopers Taxation Services in Berhad, Kuala Lumpur in 1996, before joining Maybank 6 years later to become Group Tax Accountant. Started the profession in academics since 2002 with one public university in Malacca and has more than 10 years of teaching experience related to taxation modules. He joined UNIRAZAK in 2015 as Program Director for Bachelor of Taxation, and he is also a Chartered Accountant and a member of Malaysian Institute of Accountants since 1999. So the best, absolute best person, because he has both industry experience as well as the book knowledge of whatever it got to take with taxation. Welcome to the show, Encik Amir.
Thank you. Thank you
And
very much.
next, let me read out the credentials of Mr. Mohammed Faisal, who is an industry expert as tax advisory in Faisal Advisory Sendirian Berhad. Previously, he had worked with DRB Highcom Berhad and PricewaterhouseCoopers Taxation Services Sendirian Berhad. Mr. Faisal, also a professional membership of Supreme Council of Malaysian Association of Tax Accountant MATA MATA, a fellow member of Chartered Tax Institute of Malaysia, CTIM, and associate member of Chartered Institute of Management Accountant, CIMA. So yeah, accounting and taxation has a lot of mouthful of terms and terminology that's used, and we're going to learn a little bit about them today. Finally, I also want to introduce our two lovely students here. We start with Miss Deborah Nasam Periasamy. She is a student, Bachelor in Taxation, and she is in her final year for Bachelor in Taxation under the School of Accounting and Taxation. She is also one of the KPMG ambassador and currently vice president for Your Tax Club, BRS Byte, and UIC. I know her personally as well because I'm one of her lecturers. And so welcome to the show, Deb. Definitely really good to have you here to
Thank
share
you, Miss
your
Grace.
insights. Yeah. And
All
finally,
right,
we
thank you.
have
Thank you
Mr.
for having
Suraj.
me.
No problem. Finally, we have Mr. Suraj, alumni, Bachelor in Taxation, and he is currently working with Baker Hughes International as indirect tax specialist. If you want to know about that, you can just drop your comments in the chat box to know exactly what he does. Okay, so previously he was the semi-finalist for Deloitte Tax Challenge 2019. Way to go. So welcome to the show, Suraj.
Hi, Madam Grace. Hi, Mr. Amir. Hi, Mr. Faisal. And hi, Deb. Lots to share.
Uh,
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, great. So we are going to pack as much as we can in this balance of 50 minutes that we have. We are going to not waste any time and start off with Encik Amir, Mr. Amir. Now, our topic today is the past, the present, and the future in taxation industry or career. Now, what are the differences between all these? And would you like to highlight through your observation in this area?
Okay, thank you very much. All right. So when you talk about the past, the future, the present and the future of taxation career, so I think we always have to discuss about uh, the changes in terms of what are the required skills for tax professional to have. It might have, it might be, the 10 years ago skills required may not be relevant, maybe now or maybe in the future. Especially when you talk about technology advancement, everything. So definitely the the skills required to become a tax professional also need to be changed. So what I think when I see maybe the last 10 years, uh, tax profession is concentrated more on data entry, or maybe more on the mechanical aspect of the tax compliance, for example, right? But now with a lot of technology advancements coming in, uh, what you call the technology skills are very important in order to make tax professional relevant in the future. And so, as far as the past, where some of the skills may no longer relevant, so I think the burden to make sure that all the future tax professional are well equipped with all the necessary skills. I think the burden, or most of the responsibility, we can say that is put on the learning institution, or universities. And in this case, I think we talk about UNIRAZAK, because UNIRAZAK is the only universities that have Bachelor of Taxation. So I think UNIRAZAK put themselves as one of the universities that are actually providing all these talents, tax talent, um, to be employed by industries. So as UNIRAZA, as university that offers all this Bachelor of Taxation, I think is quite uh, you know heavy responsibility. And I think so far we are very successful, because most of our students, we can see that they did very well upon graduation. So we just need to improve lah, so that we can produce better graduates in the future, that basically can fulfill the demand of the uh, tax industry. You know, considering with all these changes lah, technology changes and everything. Yeah,
Okay,
I think.
thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Faisal. Definitely, UniRaza has seen the importance of having taxation as a separate degree even a few years ago. And we're definitely in the forefront of that because we also provide professional certificates with that. Now, Mr. Faisal, over to you. Now, you are the tax advisory and expert in the taxation field. Now, when the pandemic hit us in the first part of last year, how did you see the fresh graduates managing themselves with task and workload, considering that this might be their first job in taxation industry? Did you provide any kind of assistance or guidance during that time?
Thank you for your question. I would say yes, very much it is because most of my employees who are in the tax field here, they basically are most of them are fresh graduates. So as a fresh graduates, tax becomes their what's the first job. Okay, but we don't look it as a job. It's a task that enable them to grow. Look at the skill and also the knowledge. Most of them come at a very basic knowledge. So basically what we do is that because the pandemic is very long, and then we'll not be able to operation. The firm cannot be operated. Uh, so if you look back or maybe let me step back, and then understand, okay, what actually, how does the pandemic actually hit us? Number one, we can't open the office, we cannot operate. So we were informed that the authorities informed us that you have to work outside the office, stay at home, or work from home. It's almost impossible to do at a very short period of time because I think many people are not ready yet. And on top of that is that me myself as an employer or leader also was not really ready to embrace this work from home. And also that always we feel that home is a private matter compared to office. That basically always my stand is. So that's the second one. And the third one is also our operational with the client, similarly affected. Why it is affected? Because the client has to close the shops, close the offices, close the operations as well, and also they became contactless, unless by phone, but very limited. And the next one is the authorities, the tax authorities, but eventually tax authorities were given what you call it, a concession to operate because they are considered as essential services. They can operate. So when they can operate, then of course a lot of letters will come in. The one of touch later, letters or any demand or notification. Okay, so with all when the pandemic comes to us, these are all the main or the basic problem that we have. Okay, then like I myself have no choice. I have to come to office even though I'm alone because I can't work at home. So uh, what we do now is that to manage this is that number one is that we need to organize the works required for the client. Okay, when organize the work required for the client to ensure that there will not be any late submission. Okay, for your information, if any late submission or incorrect information furnished to the LHDN or managing tax audit not in the appropriate time given by lembaga hasil dalam negeri will render persecution, penalties, and basically punitive treatment. So what I'll do is that we have to organize the work, and then when we organize the work, number one, we encourage them in the limited capacity they're able to do work, uh, try to seek knowledge. Because technically speaking, or what the operational speaking is that when we do work, we cannot actually move on to work to the next level. Example, sending to the client office, they are closed and they are closed, and subsequently it will not come back. Of course, when it can't send, then there's no flow there. So ideally, what I've always emphasized to my team is that seek knowledge while you are doing it. Most of my employees they are single, okay, single, and of course some are married, but that's not counted here. But I tell them take this opportunity to seek knowledge. What knowledge they need to seek is that basically technical updates. A lot of technical updates since 2019 up to 2020 and up to now what has been issued by the tax authorities. Best practices, the public ruling, the guideline, even some comments by the other tax practitioners. Take the knowledge and get ready to use it when come back to office. The other one is also, of course, to also look at other form of knowledge which we implement compulsorily in the office. For example, what we do is we do is that we have a sharing of information. Okay? Although via online or when they come to office or as a group, They sit down and share what they have learned about the tax, the accounting, what's happening in the surrounding. Example I can quote is that the situation in serba dynamic, the accounting irregularities, whether there is irregularities or otherwise, sharing of the tax cases that apply, whether this subject can be claimed or not, why it will be brought to the court for the court to determine whether the deduction ought to be given or otherwise. And also the hierarchy. And also we have put in some elements of religious knowledge that for them to become the speaker, preparing them to speaker, so they can speak from any of the stories of the prophets, stories from the Quran, and then they apply and we all listen. All of them listen. It's all on a rotational basis. So these are the number a few things. A lot more to do actually, but these are a few things just to keep them slowly to make them enjoy the working, enjoy the knowledge seeking, as well as awaiting for full scale of works practice will come back later, like post pandemic. Yeah. This is for
Okay.
me from me now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Faisal, because I'm so happy to know that you allowed the fresh graduates to soak up and to learn and observe the best practices and also to equip and continuously update themselves. So even though they are fresh graduates, but they still need they still need to know a lot of things, they still need to learn a lot of things, and you have given them the opportunity to do so. Okay, my next question is to Mr. Suraj. I'm always very excited when it's the students' turn to answer questions because they are the products of UNIRAZA, and also, so you will get like the truest through them. Before that, I also want to remind everyone who's watching, if you have any comments, any questions, please put it in the chat box. And I think there is a poll that has been put forth on both channels, on Facebook and also YouTube. Please answer those polls. Okay, Mr. Suraj, now you are a graduate of Bachelor of Taxation and now you're working in the taxation industry. How did you manage the challenges that you were faced with in your career throughout the pandemic? Because yours is like a double challenge of finding for a job and challenge of the world being hit by a pandemic. So also share with us throughout your journey. Do you still turn to your mentors and lecturers for help when you encounter challenges and need some solutions?
Thank you, Madam Grace. Thanks for the question. Hi, everyone. Okay. First, I'm the product. I'm the product from Uniraza. I could say I stuck into two different situations where first, Madam Grace mentioned that where you need to find a job. Second, when you get a job and you are in COVID situation. First, I should thank to Baker Hughes. They literally hire me after finish my internship. Then they hire me or they give me a position called indirect tax specialist. And after seeing my performance, and then they placed me over there. So I was in that position. I was in the office, was having fun about like 6 to 7 months. Like okay, I'm settled. So comes and hit the COVID times. So I have to work from home. That's where the problem starts. Where you want to now let's say you want to convey something through the person and through online are two different tone. So you need to, because you need to chase for client, you need to talk to client, you need to talk to your leads, you need to talk to your managers. So that's the first barrier, the challenges I met. That my tone, I usually like want to ask something serious. They might thought I'm like I'm taking for fun, I'm granted or something like that. So I have to call, sometimes connection issues. That's my first challenges. Second challenges I could say is the workload amount. It's like double triple up because when you are in office you literally like you can ask your team members, your team leads, okay, you can discuss what are you like, how this one can be finished in. If let's say now you are at home and you're this one, the workload is like piled up and you are like literally like okay, you will be doing this, another one be like piling up another one. It's like another one you have to like okay, it's like more than you be sinking down into the sea. It's like that already. Yes, in that time I seek my mentors and my lecturer. I could say my mentor and my lecturer, Sir Ame. he literally guide me, Suraj. Okay, so he literally explained what is going out and how do you want to overcome it. Okay, we used to have call session every maybe after two in a week once. We will call and discuss everything. We'll have a chit chat. Okay, Suraj, you have to go do undergo this. He's my mentor and my lecturer too. That I used to have goals. I want to set goals exactly like my mentor. And yes, Sir Ami, I'm following Sir Ami's footstep. So yes, whatever Sir Ami says, like okay, convince. Okay, Suraj, this is a situation where you have to do right now. Okay, Sir Ame says like, now you see Sir Ame is like teaching in UNIRAZAK via online, and he was like saying some students answer listening to his lecture,
Lectures.
some don't. He then I was like, why don't it takes to myself? Yes, when I'm presenting my working file, some of my colleague won't be listening. Some then what make me to stop that? Just carry on. One point they might understand, okay, this thing Suraj is facing challenges where trying to explain, so why they will give like time to hear, okay, Suraj is trying to explain something. Yes, that's the challenges I met during this two post situation over that.
Okay, thank you so much, Suraj, for sharing with us. I think we share the passion. We also share how worried you were and how probably a little bit anxious about your workload and that you're drowning in workload. And thank God for people like Sir Amir who didn't give up on even students who have already graduated and left UNIRAZA. But I'm so happy to know that you still have that lifeline over there to reach out to students who may face trouble in the workforce even after graduating. Thank you so much for that. It's not in our job description, but still, you do that. It's amazing, and I'm also glad. I'm sure there are many other students like Suraj who have graduated and still look towards their lecturers for some guidance, or if not, just motivation, like how the example that you gave just now is a brilliant way on how to just give that motivation to the students to press on in this challenging time, especially when we cannot meet up friends and meet up with colleagues to get motivation. So why not use what we have? Okay, great, wonderful explanation. And Deb, so I'm comfortable calling her Deb now. Now you are still you haven't escaped UNIRAZA yet. You are still here, and you are in the final year, and soon you'll be completing your degree in Bachelor of Taxation. I think I know you since you first stepped into UNIRAZA because you joined the program that we had for first semester students, and I have seen you kind of grown, morphed into a beautiful butterfly, if I may say that.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I want to know, did you enjoy studying in this field, and how was the studying experience? And I think a lot of people, or a lot of potential students out there, they want to know, is it difficult to study a taxation program through online learning? You started off physical learning, but you are ending the past 2 years with online learning experience. So is that more difficult, or would it be more effective to have face-to-face classes? So share us your thought and
Okay.
opinions, and as well as your experience.
Okay, sure, Miss Grace. Thank you. And I'm truly grateful to Miss Grace because she's the first lecturer I met when I first entered into UNIRAZA, and she made things easier for me. So I'm in that way. I'm thankful to her. If Okay, let's talk about taxation now. Taxation, for me, I would say, is a very very unique course. When I first entered into UNIRAZA and I had to choose a program to do my bachelor programs, course, taxation was the first thing that caught my eyes. I have a background of accounting from my school, and I was the person who actually took the decision to not, go into the accounting field. But when I come into UNIRAZA, taxation really caught my mind, and it was different, quite different from all the courses that we have in our faculty itself. something that not we are not familiar of, but it is a need. The demand for tax officer, even Miss Grace mentioned it just now, the demand for tax officers, tax experts, tax advisors is actually very high in the accounting field. But the people that we produce are actually very less. Because mostly the one who actually pursue into accounting, they choose to pursue auditing, accounting, CPA and stuff. They don't actually focus more onto taxation. So the field, it needs more of a people, but we just don't have more people. So these are the factors that actually caught my eye, when I actually decide on what to do for bachelor programs. And I decided to join taxation in UNIRAZAK. And if you ask me if I enjoyed it, yes, I enjoyed it. But just as you asked, Miss Grace, studying it online was a serious issue for me. Most of my friends, because it was a sudden shift from having online from having face-to-face classes to online class. It was a sudden shift. And the one good thing is that we the accounting students, the whole taxation school, SAT school, if you ask me, we actually learn and master Microsoft Excel, which is actually a demanding skill for workforce nowadays. Microsoft Excel for accounting field is actually a need, and we managed to master it. And like my friends and myself, we don't know our calculators, but we don't know where we put our calculators, because we are familiar with Microsoft Excel nowadays. We, even for every simple thing, we actually use Microsoft Excel thanks to the lectures. Usually if it's accounting and you have to study it online, it is going to be difficult. You might find it difficult, like it's going to be challenging and stuff. But the lectures, they made it easy for us, because when you go into the workforce or that world, you're not going to do everything hand. You're going to focus on the computer and stuff. So it was a good beginning for us to actually learn Microsoft Excel and learn from there. But the fact is that I've never met Samiruddin. My lecturer here, he have taught me like 5 to 6 subjects, but I've never met him once face to face, not even for one class. From the beginning, from the very first class he taught me until now, I actually already finished my studies. I'm doing my final exam. I've never met him even once. It's actually not just a fun. Many of the other lectures, actually, it creates an ambience when you see people face to face in person. I mean, the vibe is actually very different. And as we know, for a person to study in home, discipline is a must, uh, which most of us find it difficult to put ourselves together in the situation, making ourselves disciplined in the home, because our bed is just in front of our eyes, food is just beside our eyes, like it's just there. I mean, it can actually demotivate you from not focusing. Everything that can demotivate you from focusing is just beside you. So for that particular reason, when you go to a face-to-face classes, you can actually see the lecturers face-to-face. You can focus. There is a more of a two-way communication. Right now, I can say most of the lecturers they actually struggle to get answers from students when they ask a question. It's actually quite hard for the students to answer. It's like we are hiding behind the laptop and stuff. If we are in a face-to-face situation in a class, we would be more open. We would be more comfortable to speak. So for that one reason, I would say that face-to-face class is better. Miss Grace.
Okay. Thank you so much, Deb, for sharing a little bit about your experience. And I like that you shared because of the situation that we are in right now. So it kind of forced you to depend on Microsoft Excel, in which all of you had to master it. There's no choice. And because the teacher cannot go around looking at your calculators and whatnot. So you just have to master using Excel. And that is a very it's a very important and essential skill when you start working. So I can see a lot of people nodding, so I must be right. So good job by really taking what is best, taking the best. And I agree with you that online learning definitely does not does not give what face-to-face learning may have. The experience, the ambition, the ambience, and you rightfully put it, the vibe is not the same. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you get to meet Encik Amuruddin soon. Not next semester or something, or although you're in the final semester, sorry, but just come by UNIRAZAK and make an appointment, and then yes, Encik Amuruddin, this is on your to-do list. So okay, I'm going to go back to Encik Amir. You have been working in the industry, and now you are a academician and the program director for Bachelor of Taxation. How do you design the programs and ensure that the program offers compelling value for the future graduates of this program, and at the same time caters to the industry demands and needs?
When you talk about designing the program, all universities that come up with a program, mostly they will look at the target, for the program objective. So the objective, of course, to produce students that focusing on taxation and to become a tax professional. And so as university, we cannot be apa kata short sendirilah kan. When we have a programs, we must make sure that the programs really give what the industry want. So I think on that part, I think UNIRAZAK has done a very tremendous job in getting the CTIM recognition, and as well as getting the lembaga hasil dalam negeri. During the designing part stage of the program, and these two professional are involved directly, the CTIM, lembaga hasil. So I am very sure that the program structure of the of Bachelor of Taxation by UNIRAZAK is actually has been designed specifically to meet the demand by the industry. So that's why I said to all the students who took Bachelor of Taxation. So when you graduated, you have everything what you need to become a tax professional. All the knowledge. It's just a matter of you want to enhance your knowledge to with your experience, working experience. As far as technology, the knowledge wise, you already have it. So I think Bachelor of Taxation in UNIRAZAK has been designed properly, carefully by those who are expert in their field. And I think that is one of the reasons that Chartered Tax Institute of Malaysia has basically give us seven exemption out of 8 professional papers offered by CTIM. So I think this is just an indicator how the how high quality the Bachelor of Taxation in UNIRAZAK. But of course, having a good program structure, having a great the program, the syllabus, everything also has to be complemented by having a great teachers or lecturers. And I think that is also no question about it, because I noticed that most of UNIRAZAK lecturers, not only for Bachelor of Taxation and from other programs as well, and I would say that 80 or 90% they are from industry. So there is no issues whether because the objective of university is really to minimizing gap between education and working experience. And I think we managed to do that. That's why when our student graduated, it's just like nothing new for them. When they go for internship, for example, they will do whatever they studied in the class. So as far as the program designing, I think we have designed it in such a way that the industry basically has no they will take they will need lesser time to train our student compared to others. Because this is because sometimes I spoke to when we do internship visit, right? Last time before the COVID-19, and when I talk to the owner of the company, everything, so they always tell me this. They like to take, for example, like Bachelor of Taxation, because most of them they already know what need to be done. So it's just a matter of some training here and there, and then they are good to go.
Mm.
Uh,
Okay. Great, Encik Amir. So it's really good to see that you, as a program designer or program um, coordinator, you match or benchmark the requirements and skills required to professional bodies like CTIM and things like that, as well as you also talk to people in the industry, such as I think Encik Faizal himself, and also ask what is required there. So my next question would be to Encik Faizal. Now, in the field of taxation industry, what would be, as an organization, the organization's expectation of skills and knowledge required among fresh graduates? And how does the industry help students with their career development? Would you mind also sharing some tips for the students on what they should know after finishing their study?
Okay, yeah, thank you. I definitely have some good information to share with. Okay, number one is that to come to our organization or any other tax firm organization, one must be determined to do what they want to do. Okay, if they wanted to do tax, then that's appropriate channel to do the tax. Otherwise, accounts or tax. Because usually a firm like us, we have multiple services we provide to a client. Okay, so some will have the audit or tax or a company secretary, for example. Okay, first and foremost, I will look at the passion. So the student must have the passion whether they wanted to do the tax and prepare for them for future. Okay, there can be a trial. There can be a trial and error sort of, because these people are still young. So they come in and then let's say they work for 1 month in tax. They say, Chief Faisal, sorry, I really can't do my tax. Can I do my accounting or auditing or even a company secretary? We do give the opportunity so that so we'll be able to put the right people in the right place. And of course, the vacancy will take place also lah. If there's a vacancy, we'll do that. Yeah, so that's what is the main thing that we will look at it, or any other organization that the student determined to be where she has applied for lah. Yeah. For the, for how do we develop in your tech line? The key one is that you must build your technical knowledge. The skill is on the technical knowledge. Okay, what is technical knowledge all about is that you must first the Income Tax Act, okay, the act itself, or any other regulation within the act or separate act. Okay, like for example, all the income will be subject to Income Tax Act. Uh, Disposal of properties, shares in the real property company are subject to real property gain tax. You pay stamp duty subject to Stamp Duty Act. So these are the main the act. They call it the Bible that must all the tax practitioners or any all our taxpayers need to follow. Then the other one also they need to keep up to date is that they need a strong professional body to back them up, to build, to put in place within the professional body. Why? Because they have the infrastructure. They have the infrastructure. They have the update to be given. All this information, any updates, any changes in the act, amendment to the act, what's happened in the budget, even can be given. Some professional bodies given uh, free budget commentary books. So all these materials you can use to develop the knowledge. The other one is also, of course, in the website from the IRB, or the IRB's information. Nowadays, IRB is more open. They go to the public. They go to the public via social media, whether Instagram or a website or Facebook. So all this also we can gather information to see what is their best practices. So with all the technical knowledge, we must move forward to see what we can provide the value to the client when they're preparing their tax filing. Okay? This all goes down, it will go step by step in a very simplistic manner. The client engage a professional to manage their tax affairs. When you manage the tax affairs, it begins with the filing of the tax return, notifying the IRB via filing of tax return how much liability they have to pay. The computation of liability must be correct and accurate as possible. Why I say possible? Because the number of a lot of gray areas might come. So when there's a lot of gray areas, you have to you have to manage this. Then you will see that you need a technical knowledge, technical knowledge and a room to how to get this information. Okay, on top of that, all I say that again, you also need another one more is that the networking with your professional tax buddies. So one person cannot work alone. So you need a group of friends to share a lot of great areas that may come with tax. So when you file the tax return for the employer, for the taxpayer, then the value of the tax must be as accurate as possible, not only for the taxpayer, to the government, it's also for the taxpayer. Must create value. The tax actually can you can actually create value. If you look at my experience when I was in one thing was not mentioned. I worked in the DRB Highcom before, yes, and also I worked in one of the Kazana subsidiary in Johor. So our role is basically to give value to the business. See, when we do the tax, most organizations will look at tax as a secondary. They always wanted to run their business, but they want the tax to be as effective as possible, minimized as possible. What is the best way to basically to mitigate the tax exposure? So you have to play with two roles. One role is to that to be an entrepreneur, thinking of how can I uh, sell a product. For example, I need to sell a product, but there's a tax impact there. The tax impact is quite huge because why? Because not only about income tax, it covered probably covered the RPDT Act, the capital gains, or probably there's a stamp duty, import duties, etc. So when you see all these things, how best you can actually minimize the impact? Because when you sell the product, you need to give value to your business. How do you give value to the business? You have to increase your bottom line. What is your bottom line? It's a profitability. When you increase your profitability, that means you're actually providing a value to the business, to the shareholder, and you also can demand your compensation in whether bonus or special pay or increment and so on if you work in an organization. So this is the value that we need to look for the client by not only paying the tax. So this why do we, from where what they did, as I say, there's a technical knowledge. With the technical knowledge, as you goes along, your experience will count. Your experience count, you encounter a lot of practical issues. Practical issues mean it's not on the tax form also, but also like I say, goes back to how the business deal. When the business is there, when the business is operating, they don't want tax to be a burden to them. So that's where you will see how do you actually manage this according to your experience. Experience will come. Okay. Uh, of course, the other skill that we expect is that one is have a desire to learn, okay, desire to speak in the public. Okay, I always emphasize all my team to become a speaker, not just like me, but be a speaker, so that they can move on. Not move on, but they will be basically able to explain better to the client. Okay, and we can actually assign them to special program and so on. Okay, so these are a few things. Maybe have a little bit more chance, then maybe I share. Not know whether there's sufficient time for now and up to this. Please let me know. But I will stop for now. See whether what next I can
Correct.
share.
Thank you so much, Mr. Faisal. Your input is indeed very valuable. It's good to know that as an organization, they definitely place high value on graduates with already professional certificates and things like that. And I'm also glad that you have noted it is important for students to know certain soft skills as well, like speaking in public, such as these. And I'm very proud to see students like Deb and Suraj speaking very well and without much hesitation. You guys are very confident. So good I'm glad to know that you're on par as well. Okay, before we move on, there is actually a question from the public. Miss or Mr. Sirius has a question. What if students after SPM ask about taxation? What is an answer that can make them feel interested in taking a taxation course? So I think Encik Amir would be the best person to answer this, and then maybe the students could and the alumni could just contribute
Yeah.
something.
Okay. Wow, this is a very tough question because I think as Mr. Faisal has mentioned earlier, it's based on your preference. But I think when you talk about tax, it's always about consulting, tax consulting, kan? So, what is the meaning of consultant? Consultant, if you look at the definition, a person who provide expert advice professionally. So, you add up a tax consultant on that, so you will get that a person that will provide tax advice professionally to the clients. So I think that itself really make this profession something, because when you
Yes.
talk about consultant, it refers to someone yang very open, very flexible. Because if you want to become a tax consultant, you cannot be so rigid. You have to be flexible. But of course, there are limitations lah on that flexibility, because no matter how flexible you are, we always have to be limited by the tax legislation. So that is so much we can do. Tax planning, tax advisory. So we have to make sure we don't exceed the limit. So I
Okay.
think that is my personal view lah, because it gives you some freedom, it gives you
Yeah.
some flexibility, less rigidity compared to some things like maybe auditing or accounting, something like that. But that is my personal opinion lah. Maybe
Okay.
some,
All right.
yeah.
Definitely, it's like how you look at it. What about our alumni? Suraj, maybe you want to share your perspective on how best to convince a student who just finished his or her SPM to take tax courses.
All right, sure. Thank you, Madam Grace. I'm 100% agreeing with Mr. Amiruddin's point, and add on what really make me interesting that this tax. Why do I choose this taxation? The first thing, I used to follow Sir Amir's code. I think Sir Amir already forgotten this code. Debt and tax you cannot even separate together. It's twins. Debt and
Okay.
tax. I think Sir Amir. I hope Sir Amir
Yeah,
recalls
that
this.
that that that, that one is not from me lah. Actually, from I think someone.
Oh,
Some
Yeah,
ancestors
yeah,
taught
yeah.
made Mr. Ahmed give it to me.
okay.
So I just used to keep
Oh,
it in my mind. Death and tax always. I was like curiosity why they said why these two like twins. Why? So I just come out this curiosity. That's what really encourage, like make me interest. Okay, I should explore more what is taxation. That's where I enroll myself in Bachelor of Taxation. Then I know why we cannot avoid tax. It's actually a part
oh.
of income to a nation. Then it's additional extra. That's okay. That then make me convinced. Then yes, death and tax are twins.
All right, well said and well explained. So it really looks at the perspective, yeah. So if you are someone who enjoys, doing these things that our industry expert here has shared, Encik Amiruddin has shared, and our students have shared. If you are someone who you think you would enjoy consulting, you would enjoy advising, and you would enjoy a little bit of course, a lot of calculation on that point, and a little bit of auditing. So then, I don't think you need to be convinced even more. Okay, Suraj, we're not done with
Can I
you.
share?
So
Sorry,
next,
sorry, Miss.
yeah,
Can I
yeah,
share
sure,
my?
sure,
Okay,
yeah,
this
sure.
the question, the same question that I had. Not after my SPM. Yeah, I can say after my SPM, I was doing my AAT in one of the college. Then the college was an English lecturer, came from UK, and he said to me one interesting thing that was actually I can say sparked my attention when I was studying. He said that when you become a tax or when you know tax, you become a center of attention. Okay. I was like, okay,
Okay.
center of attention. What is center of attention? Yeah, everybody will come to you, look for you. because they want your answer for text, right? So you become famous. So many and it goes along and along. So I just take it as it is. So now I realize that it's true. Okay, when you become a tech practitioner, you become the center of attention. So this could be possibly another plus point like, for any student that they have looking for
Exactly.
career in taxation. Just added on as a
Okay.
joke lah. Okay.
That's a brilliant, brilliant one because yeah, if you enjoy attention, then become a tax consultant because everybody needs or everybody has something to do with tax in any part of their life. You know, whether it's personal tax, company tax, or whatnot. So yeah, that's a good one as well. We're getting a lot of good quotes here. So don't forget, please tune in. Mr. Arif has been our long time TikTok fan, and he says, "Good afternoon, Wanakam." I see it probably because he sees most of us are Indian. So okay, thank you, Mr. Arif. Now back to you, Mr. Suraj.
Yep.
Now, were the programs, the courses that you took under this program tough? And do you truly enjoy working in this field now? Please share with us your journey during your study time and what you have learned and applied in your career right now.
All right, sure. Okay. Um, I, I want to quote this something like nothing comes easy. It can goes very fast. Okay, whatever comes easy can go very fast. So not all, how to say, I prefer that not all courses are very easy. It's all tough. Okay, the lecturer make it easy to make students understand. At the first one, I enter UNIRAZAK when I'm doing my bachelor of taxation. I'm signing my agreement, bachelor of taxation, Suraj Anlaki Kumar. I was like, yo, taxation, is it a bit tough? Easy? At that same point, curiosity, what to know what is tax. When I step into the class, the first one, Sir Matno, he explained one by one. Then only like time goes on, like okay, the bond between me and tax, it's like Romeo and Juliet. Okay, I know Romeo will die at the end, but my how to say the
Point. Yeah.
my point, my knowledge toward tax won't die as how what Romeo's dies. Okay, I would like definitely take this point. I want to travel along with this text. That's why I choose Bachelor of Taxation. Yes, it's tough. I wouldn't say easy. Nothing comes easy, man. All should tough. All should you should give your effort. You should give your capability how to do something. So yes, I go the train the lectures the train the lecturers give it to us. From the tough course, it literally went to like piece of cake. Like okay,
Mm.
wow, they literally like okay, it's nice, interesting to study. That's where I start my journey. Actually, I'm a background accounting background, so I did my diploma in accounting. So when I come back to this one, I was like, I want to do my tax. I come do my tax. I literally enjoy my 3 years with my beautiful lecturers, Madam Grace, Sir Ame, Sir Matno. Uh, I travel along. I have ups and ups and downs I share with my lecturers. They will literally give me advice. Suraj, you should not stop here, you should go. That's where I grow out my path. Then I applied I applied for internship for in Baker Hughes, and they once I completing my Baker Hughes my internship, and they, yes, Suraj, why don't you be part of indirect tax? I was like, okay, literally like it's still in my path. Even it's like tax, it's indirect tax still in my path. Yes, I joined indirect taxes. I grew. Whatever points I need, like additional information I need, one call to Sir Ame, I need a point, please do give me something, give me some tips. Yes, he do share. Sir Ame shares. The one thing I learned throughout my entire how to say my 3 years of bachelor of taxation. One, first thing, respect your lecturers. Second, do the exercises that what lecturer do not like uh tolak tepi je lah, that one later can do lah. No, I'm telling you that exercise, it can bring you back when you're doing your when you're in working life. Question I might may not same, but the concept are same. I literally faced that. I was the one of the student said that one can do later on lah. Now I'm like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Oh god, I should do it back then. Okay, it's like yes, I learned a lot from them. Yes, thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you to the lecturers.
Oh, thank you so much. I really love to hear your point of view because you don't like censor anything. So you really give us the really good clear view of what's it like to be a taxation student. Because like you said, nothing comes easy. It should be difficult. And I also like that you said we have to do whatever exercises that the lecturer gives us, because it's not to make our lives difficult, but then it's to get us used to the working lifestyle later on, in which we will be having assignments after assignments, deadlines. All that will be nothing new during our working time. So thank you so much for sharing. Now we have quite a good question from the audience. Mr. or Miss Mansoor. Um, so he asked, hi, besides being a tax professional, what else a taxation graduate can do? And I think this is a pretty good question. Are they only going to be in a tax consultant only, or is there anything else that they can do? Maybe Mr. Amir and also Mr. Faisal can share their thoughts.
Okay,
Okay.
so I think other than become a tax professional, so they can also set up their own tax firm and become a tax agent under Section 153, the Income Tax Act 1957. They also can become a tax accountant, provided they have enough experience, in accounting and taxation. So tax accountant, basically what they do is they will handle both accounts and tax affairs of the companies, and they also can become an auditor actually, right? So those are, I think, the channel that they can go lah. Beside becoming like for example, student from Bachelor of Taxation. So let's say they want to embark in auditing, for example. Yes, they can do that. So by having this auditing experience and tax knowledge, I think that will complement each other very, very well, and that will open up more opportunity for the student, to become maybe a tax accountant in the future.
Okay, thank you so much. So I hope that answers your question. Now I want to go to Deb because I feel like we've not hear her speak for some time. Now it's the endemic. So what additional skills do you think should a graduate possess to ensure that they are competent in the industry? And to ensure that they are ready to be in industry. And do you think you are ready to be in the industry and become a practitioner in the taxation field? So there's two questions.
If you ask about an important skill, I would say not just the graduate, but everyone should possess the important skill that everyone should possess is adaptability and acceptance. See, that is what the pandemic had taught us. Back in 2019, just 2 years ago, we never thought virtual classes would take over education field fully. Like, no matter if you're a kid or you're an old person, every student must go through online classes. Kindergarten to postgraduates, everyone must use online as their platform to study. So like businesses, like Mr. Faisal did mention just now, they would have never thought that they should close down their buildings and they should do work from home. We in the Malaysians or people, we never thought that we must stay at home 24/7. Even though we went through all this situation, thanks to God, things are getting back to normal now, but it's not the normal that we used to know. It's the new norm. So no matter what, if it's the workforce or the world in total, we must learn to adapt, get ready for any changes that we might face, and most importantly, accept them. Because acceptance, I personally feel like the acceptance shouldn't be just with a skill. We shouldn't just stop there. We should make it as an attitude. Acceptance should become our attitude. And if we are about to focus on the industry more narrowly, I think critical thinking is an important skill that you need, that everybody needs for us to stand out. Because I believe that we have to set a benchmark when we go to a place. So let's take the situation that we faced earlier about the businesses closing down. Good thing is that we have someone who came up with the idea of working from home. So businesses like bigger corporations, they actually survived. But probably a more critical thinking might have lead the businesses to think through and create opportunities instead of just following the pattern, standing out. So what if we don't need a building to do your businesses? You can ask your since you can ask your employees to work from home nowadays, right? So what if you don't actually need a building to do a business? That's going to save more money in terms of the assets, the maintenance, the renovation of the buildings and stuff, right? See, someone thought about it. Someone came up with the critical ideas and stuff. That's why we have businesses like Grab, like Airbnb. Grab is one of the biggest e-hailing company, but the cars, Grab cars are not theirs. Like Airbnb. Airbnb, they come up with online classes. They sell services via online even before the pandemic hit them. Like we can pay for their services, and no matter where we are, and we can learn from classes and stuff. So I feel like that is the type of critical thinking that we need to possess. Critical thinking in a way that one can come up with ideas that can solve problem, not just to solve problem, but probably to create opportunities to everyone. That's what we need actually. To the one who can, they can actually create opportunities, and to the one who cannot create opportunities, the best for us is to grab the opportunities that create it. So, and if you ask if I'm ready for the industry, yes, of course, because I have awesome lecturers. I have awesome people that I've worked with in the club. Brothers by UIC and UR those are actually most important clubs if you ask me in UNIRAZAK. And they have actually shaped me. And especially KPMG ambassador, being an ambassador was actually a very, very different experience for me throughout this year. Although being in the finish, you're going to have new batch of ambassadors very soon. This whole year with being a KPMG ambassador had actually taught me a little bit about the corporate world and how we should actually, deal with the corporate world, the people there, and how it's going to be the pattern and stuff. So, and because of these people, I can say I am ready for it. But it is not wrong for us to be a little nervous, right? Since we're going to we're going to go into a new type of world from being a student to an employee. So I'm a little nervous in that sense. Let's see how things goes. It's going to be. I hope it goes well, and I would like to take this opportunity to wish all the best to all my friends who will be pursuing your internship very soon.
Okay. Thank you so much, Deb, for sharing with us that what's important to have, and I think problem solving skills is definitely a really important skills that all students across the board, across any programs should have. And like you said, if if they're good thinkers, their prospect is a lot higher, and also it's a really important skill for everyone to embody, just to put yourself in the forefront, to set yourself out for this new challenge that everybody is having now. We are actually coming to the end of the program. So I would like to ask the two or three final questions. But before that, we posted a poll earlier in the talk today. Do you think becoming a tax advisor is interesting? So more than half people said yes, 78%. Okay, all of you are number people. So 78% says yes, and no is 21%. Okay, so there are still people who said no, it's not an interesting, but well, they don't know what they're missing out. Poll completed 23 votes. Okay, now back to Encik Faizal. Before we end, do you have any advice to students who would become tax auditors, or those who are about to finish their program, such as Deb herself? And what will the future of taxation industry be like? And can they continue working virtually from home in a flexible working environment? So there are a few questions there if you could address. Okay, I think we cannot hear. You need to switch the mic on. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Unmute,
Get here.
unmute, unmuted mic already.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Thank you very much, Grace, for the question. First of all, I would say that the tech is a lucrative jobs. And if you go boil down to the fee that you're going to receive, also is quite good in that sense. Okay, I'll just give you a simple scenario. If you want to do a simple accounting job, it will take 3 or 4 days for you to complete because you need to look into the details, you have to prepare the account, and then you have to enter the data and all those stuff. But with once the account is completed and you prepare the tax computation, that will roughly will take about 1.5 hours, or maybe worst case maybe a half a day for you to complete the tax computation. Then you can charge approximately the same fees. So if you look at the money wise, the return it's for me it's quite good like compared to others. Those who are in the other field like audit or tax. Okay, that's one thing. Lucrative jobs. Okay, and then perhaps you wanted to have a good income in future. Okay, but have a better lifestyle. It's all possible because much of your work you use brain and not much of the physicals. And then so you can be anywhere. Even you can drive in a luxurious car, Audi or what. You can drive and then you can just think about tax and do work. Okay? The future of the taxation industry, we must be aware this is the right time for everyone to start in this line because I would emphasize this because if you look at the model like how the UK and Australia practice, they are no longer attached to the auditors, okay, auditors, accountant, or maybe in a very few. Okay, they are very much like their own. So the tax industry is going to that situation where they will be very much on their own. That means that a company can engage an auditor and also an accountant, but can have a separate tax advisor. Okay. The law also in one day, I believe, will come to put in a situation that the auditor, the accountant, and the tax advisor must be three separate entities or individuals. Okay. Why this is because they wanted to ensure transparency, proper reporting, and there's no like something called a cow team among the three professional bodies, the three professionals, in order to deliver a tax return, a proper tax return. So the law may become into play. So it's the right time for any of the tax practitioners to do it now compared to 10 or 15 years before. It's very difficult. Those days, most of the tax practitioners hard to survive, but lately they have been able to survive very well. And also, again, I say it becomes a center of attention, meaning that people look for you no matter where you are and then to get the tax advice and tax advisory. And on top of that is that this is the work that actually can still do at home. Okay, of course the situation changing. Okay, I believe with all this AI, artificial intelligence, more robust ideas coming out. So not only working from home, could be working from anywhere. It's still possible. Even to file a tax return now from lembaga hasil, like if you are in France, you can provide the service and you can file the tax return in Malaysia. Okay, so this is what I would like to share that the prospect of our industry is really getting enormous, evolving, and also more so with the stringent what you call it stringent activity from the lembaga hasil or the tax authority body going drill down to catch the tax evaders and also non-tax evaders. They are going down to train the taxpayers to be more compliant. That this is our role becomes more intensified. Okay, yeah, that's
Okay, thank
my
you.
thought.
Thank you so much for that really very sound advice and also very practical advice by Encik Faisal on how important it is to have tax consultants and advisors. Okay, last but not least, Encik Amir, do you mind sharing with the audience the programs very briefly that UNIRAZA offers with the School of Accounting and Taxation and the career pathways in each program?
Okay. So for School of Accounting and Taxation, we basically offer three main programs, which is the first one is Diploma in Accounting, which took about 2.5 years, yeah, 2.5 years, 2.5 years. Um, and then we also have Bachelor in Accounting with CPA. So this will take around 4 years, 3 to 4 years, depend on which pathway, because we have UNIRAZAK Pearson collaboration. So you have to look at which pathway you are in. But in general, it will take around 4 years. Yeah, that is Bachelor in Accounting with CPA, and then we have the also, we have Bachelor in Taxation, which is will take about 3 years. And Bachelor of Taxation, normally most of the student in taxation, we will channel them to do their CTIM in their final year, because they will only need to take one paper. So we advise them to finish that one paper, before they can embark to any other professional qualification. And Bachelor of Taxation also, we actually has another mode, which is we call it 2U to I, yeah, to university to industry. But for UNIRAZAK, we have made it 2U 1I, right? Two university and one industry, which is basically it means you'll be studying 2 years in the campus, and the next 1 year will be doing like so we can call it an internship lah, but it's not an internship, it's a program. Yeah, you'll be attached to the industry for 1 year. Yeah, so that basically the main program offered by the UNIRAZAK. Because if you want to know details or everything, I think in the website, we have a very good details there lah.
Okay, thank you so much. Exactly as what Encik Amir has said, if you'd like to know more, you can always contact or go to the website as shown below on the screen. So I'm just going to ask, we have come to the end of the program, and I'm going to ask if our alumnus and our student has any last words to say to the show, a shout out or any advice to future students who are going to do taxation, anything. We start with Suraj first.
Okay. Advice, I'm not too genius to give advice, but I've like a friend, I can give advice, like share my thoughts. Listen to your lectures, do your lectures notes, get to know up to date whatever the system, or maybe any changes in laws, in any technicals. Do your soft how to say, grow your soft skills, and don't forget, grow your Excel skill also as well, because nowadays Excel plays important role in every sectors. Seriously. Yeah, that's from my side, I could say.
Thank you. Very good advice. Okay, very practical and good advice, straight to the point. Okay, and Deb? Deb, do you have
Okay,
any?
if I'm about to give any last words, um,
Um,
yeah, sure. If I would say taxation, it has really caught my attention. Even before I wanted to join, when I was a little bit, as I told before, it really caught my attention. And by studying taxation, I can say you won't do calculation fully. It's like 50-50. You will give advices and you will also do calculation. The adventure is there. People will listen to you. So you have to, you have an opportunity where you can actually advise people. You can actually advise a whole organization on how to do their tax returns. If you prefer to give advice, there is a way you can become a tax advisor. If you want to do tax accountings, you can choose to do the tax accounting, that path. That there are a lot of paths in taxation, and it is interesting. I tell you, if you truly, it's taking taxation is like taking a challenge. It's not difficult. If you're up to it, you are welcome to join taxation, because the taxation world need more people.
okay. All right. Thank
That's
you.
all, Miss
Thank you
Grace.
so much. Very short and very sweet. And also, that brings us to the end of our TikTok show. In fact, we are actually almost 20 minutes over 1 hour, but that's also because we have such good speakers with us, and I really don't want to miss out on anything. Thank you again. My heartfelt thanks goes to our special guest today, Encik Faisal, for availing his time to share with us on this platform about be from the viewpoint of a industry expert. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
thank you also to Encik Amir, as well as our wonderful students and alumnus today here. Also, thank you for availing your time. All the best, Deb, for your upcoming exam. Is there an exam upcoming soon?
Yes, I have exams like for 2 more days, and then I'll have to go for my internship in 1 week.
Awesome. All the best to you. And congratulations in advance to Suraj, who has completed his degree and graduating this year. Okay, right. So this brings us to an end. I thoroughly enjoyed this TikTok session in which we have gained a wealth of knowledge about taxation and being a tax expert. So I hope the audience have too. And let me just leave you all with some of the latest announcement by UNIRAZAK. Please bear with me. UNIRAZAK intake is now open 6 November 2021. MARA, TESP, and GERP convertible loan is still available until 23rd October, that's tomorrow, 2021. To apply, visit the website www.mara.gov.my and www.unirazak.edu.my, or you can call us at the phone number that is below. Don't forget to follow My UniRaza on Facebook and Instagram, subscribe to My UniRaza YouTube channel, and stay tuned for our upcoming events with interesting topics for your TikTok What's Hot at UniRaza. Don't forget to keep your social distancing, although we are in the endemic, and stay safe, everyone. And that goes for all of our speakers too. Have a lovely evening, guys. Bye bye. Oh, okay, heart.
Thank you.
Okay. Everybody can show your symbol. Okay. Deb, what's your sign? Okay. Okay, guys. See you at the back
Another
end. Don't
heart.
go.